Hello, guys. Welcome to Unravel as we continue the series Successful Growth, or you may want to call it Successful Business Growth Part 2. And in this episode, we will dig a bit deeper, like we did in the first episode, on goals and goal attainment and goal nature. In this series, or this episode, we'll be dealing on business and the nature of business and what it means to do business. And like I emphasized in the first episode of this series, that I was focusing more on the term business over life, because life is more generic, is more vague, is more plural. But when I say business, business has a bit more form to it. And the business in this context is not just the business of financial trading, right? Of commodity trading, of trade of services. The business here is in a deeper dimension. And the reason why I'm choosing the word business is because everybody is in business. Business is not an optional reality. It's not something that is carved out for a certain group of people who are into the sales of products or services. The concept of business is beyond actual trading services and commodities, right? When Jesus was found in the temple by his parents at the age of 12, and they tried to query him to say, "What are you doing here? We've been searching for you for several days." He said to them that, "Can't I be about my father's business?" So the business here I'm talking about is a more universal business. And again, it still applies to the normal, everyday business that we can think about. So the emphasis for today is business. Number one thing here is that business is not busyness. So stemming from the point that I'm trying to make here by saying that life is a business. By default, if you are life, you are in business. Because the nature of life, the construct of life is designed in a way that somehow you are constantly selling something or buying something. Everything that you are, everything you will ever become will be an outcome of transactions. What you are buying or what you are selling. The things that you wear, the way that you talk, is you selling something or buying something, right? The books that you read, the work that you do, is you selling something or buying something. The man that you marry, the woman that you marry, the children you have, is you buying something or selling something. But your life is simply an outcome of something you've bought or something you've sold. So when you blame people for certain things in your life, you can't really be justified, because the way they treat you is on the merit of what you have sold to them about the person that you are. Is that making sense? So when you dress like a harlot, you can't feel insulted if you are received as one. You see that now? When you talk like an ingrate, you can't feel offended when people refuse to help you. Because when you talk the way you talk, you are selling to someone that you are not the kind of person they want to help. The way you are behaving is selling something. And what people are buying from you is saying to them that you can't be trusted. And many times we take a review of our lives and we're wondering, why is my life the way it is? It's the way it is because of the things that you are selling and the things you're buying. Many things that happen to you, like I've said before many years ago, that you can't control everything that happens to you. But everything that happens to you is a currency, good, bad, or ugly. And you are the only one that can determine what you buy with the currency of your experiences, however good they are or however bad they are. Listen, guys, they are children that have great parents who have turned out to become very bad people. They are children that their parents are very good to them, but they still turn out badly. The reason why that's happened is because they lack the wisdom to manage good experiences. So we think that people's lives go astray because bad things happen to them. No, even when good things happen to you, if you don't understand how to procure your future with the currency of your experience, you will end up with a future that you do not want. If you are in a future that you don't want, is a proof that you did not buy the correct future with the currencies that life gave to you. But life will give you many currencies. The good, the bad, the ugly. So you need to be a businessman or a businesswoman of life to know how to transact with the currencies that life hands over to you, whether they are good or they are bad. So if you understand this, we can agree that life in itself is a business. Everything that happens to you is a currency. You will determine what you buy with it. Everything that you do is also you transacting in sales. You are selling an idea of who you are and what you deserve. Am I correct? Yeah. So life is a business. But the business that produces desired results is not an outcome of busyness. I'm trying to say, because in this generation, we have a lot of busy people. People busy doing nothing. Just, I said somewhere that many of us are not running the business, we're just running. Because everyone now is a CEO. Everyone now is an entrepreneur. Everyone now has a foundation. Everyone now, has a podcast. Yeah, and if I need to do a video called Smart Nonsense, because everyone now is just saying nonsense, even when it sounds smart. So everyone is just busy. But busyness is not business. And business is not busyness. That you are busy does not mean that you are in business. And when we say in economics that you are in business, it means that whatever you are doing is profitable. You know what I'm saying? So if you are in the sales of perfumes or fashion or hair or furniture, whatever it is you're doing, you can't say you are in business until whatever it is that you're doing is profitable. They will not say, now I'm in business. Do you get the joke? So you can't say you are in business only because you are busy. You can be busy and not be in business. You can be running and not running the business. So many of us may have companies that we think we are running a company, but we're not running any company. We are just running. And many times there's no address of arrival. So busyness is not the same thing as being in business. Whatever that business is, whether it's a business of work, of trade, of parenting, of academics, whatever kind of business you are engaged in with your life, that you are busy does not mean that you are in business. Business is not optional, which we have established. It's not optional because we said that life is a business. So every day that you wake up, every single day, you are in business. You are trading something with your hairstyle, with your haircut, with your facial looks, with everything you're doing. You are in business. So business is not optional. So you must take the science of business very seriously because there is no option or alternative to you doing business. You have no choice, but you must give business attention. So you can do business intentionally or unintentionally. I see what I'm saying. So when I talk about busyness and business, I'm talking about those who are aiming to attain some level of virtue of profitability with their lives. So that you are busy does not mean that you are in business, which means that you are busy, even if you are in the business of life, you are not in the business of a profitable life. Is that making sense? But I'm saying here that business is intentional in nature, even if you approach it unintentionally. So the trading of your life is better to be done intentionally. But whether you are intentional about your life or not, you are still in business. So by nature, business is a trade. So if you're writing down, you have to write that down. Business is a trade. And you can't call something a trade if that thing is not intentional, usually. So a trade is normally intentional exchange. You have to write that down. A trade is intentional exchange. However, you may still have executed a trade even if you are not intentional about the exchange. Many of you have exchanged your heart for romance. You may not be intentional about it, but you don't give the man your heart. He don't bear come out. You say, but Oga, you gave your heart. Even if it was not intentional. Esau sold his birthright, even though it was not intentional. So, like I say, that when he was angry at Jacob for taking the blessing, he didn't realize that he had transacted that sale before that day. Right? So, you may not be intentional about the exchange, does not mean that the exchange is not validated. In life, transaction is transaction, whether you meant to do it or you didn't mean to do it. So let me give you an example now. It's a very fun example. So imagine, for example, that a man was driving his car. And when driving the car, somebody came and hit him from behind. He became very offended, very agitated, and he walks up to the man and, took out all the frustration of dollar increase, petrol increase, rent increase on the man. How dare you brush my car? Meanwhile, the man just brushed his bumper small. How dare you brush my car? Who are you? Do you know who I am? Who is your father? Who is your auntie? And then in that anger, he just gave the guy a slap. Whoa! What did he do? He slapped the guy. The guy now fell down. He said, you think you can pretend? Who are you? Stand up, my car. You must repair my car. You must spray my bumper. Oga, stand up now. Oga. Oga, stop this joke. Oga, my car. Oga. My bumper. Guess what? The man died. The man died. People now gathered. They say, what happened? That's when you now know that you are in business. They asked the man, what happened? He said, I was driving my car like this. He said, sir, now at that point he has been humbled. Everybody now is sir. He says, sir, hear me now. I was just driving my car like this to go and pick up my tire from Vulcanizer. Then this man now brushed my car. So I came outside and we're talking. See, now we're talking. As we're talking, I now just hit him like this. He fell down. Oh. He now touched the man. Yeah, this man don't die. Oh. This man don't die. Oh. In his mind, he just touched the man. By the transaction of life, he just killed the man. However unintentional he was, he has bought a gbege he can't run away from. It's a sealed transaction. That man on the floor may have had terminal disease for the past 8 years. But nobody will analyze that currency. The currency that we all see is the slap. that the man engaged that currency and purchased debt. He has bought it, he has bought it. Anywhere they bring up the matter, they say that's how they hit the man's cow. The man not just hit the man die. That's all you hear. And as humorous as this is, many things that we do in our lives, that's the way we are buying things that we didn't plan to buy. Because we don't have the sense of consequence. And every businessman understands the principle of consequence. That what I sell, the way I sell it, to whom I sell it, there are consequences. The profiting of every trade will be channeled through these realities. What are you selling? How are you selling it? To whom are you selling it? In some cases, when are you selling it? If you sell an umbrella in dry season, it will affect the value of the umbrella. So there is a time to sell. There is a time to buy. Am I correct? And this is important for any kind of transaction you want to make in life. As long as you are in business, in the business of life, or any kind of business in economics, you must factor in certain realities of intentional trade. Because if you say it is a trade, that means there's an exchange, and that exchange must be intentional for you to qualify it as trade. And even if you do that exchange without clear intentions, the outcome of that exchange is still part of what forms the trade you have engaged in, and you must embrace the outcome of that exchange. So you said, it was not my plan for the girl to become pregnant. Oga, you had no business in that transaction at 18. You know, I just said that what you sell, how you sell it, to whom you sell it, and when you sell it, forms part of profitable transactions. Am I correct? So that you slept with her at 20, at 18. The action is not the problem. It is with whom you transacted and the time you transacted. A man and a wife can engage in that same transaction, but it has a different definition. And the difference in the approach, it is not just what you sold or how you sold it, it is to whom you sold it and when you sold it. So when you want to define profitable transactions in any form as a parent, there's even when to beat a child now. You just took water and dropped somewhere. Bah! Anna. That thing you are selling can give birth to a criminal if you don't sell it properly. Yes, don't spare the rod. But if every single time what you sell, how you sell it, to whom you sell it, and when you sell it, it matters. So every single thing he does, the one you should say thank you, you say pa. The one you say sorry, you say pa. The one you should rebuke, you say pa. So the problem is that the child feels like everything I do, mommy will award me with a slap. So there is no need to invest myself in doing the right thing. It's not a slap, I will take slap. From slap, he will say it's not prison, he will go to prison. I see what I'm saying now. From prison, he says, it's not to kill person, I will kill the person. And you and I may not know that the outcome of that child's life is because of the way that the mother was void of showing him appreciation when merited. So what you sell, how you sell it, to whom you sell it, when you sell it, will always shape the profitability and the nature of transactions, whatever that transaction may be. And this business principle is a principle that many people don't think about. There's nothing wrong with what you want to sell, but you may be selling it at the wrong time. There is nothing wrong with what you want to sell, but you are selling it the wrong way. There is nothing wrong with what you want to sell, but you are selling it to the wrong person and at the wrong time. And you may have the time, the person, and the style correctly, but you are selling the wrong thing. Are you seeing that now? So business is a critical aspect of destiny. So when you think business going forward, it's not just about services and products. You must think about destiny transactions, future transactions, purpose transactions. You know what I'm saying? Because your life is simply the outcome of the transactions you have made across the years. So if you want to write this down. The objective, I've told you some of the factors of profitable business. Am I correct? What you sell, how you sell it, to whom you sell it, when you sell it, forms the validation of the transaction. All four realities must align with each other. There is a time to beat a child. There's a time to hug a child. There's a time to gift your wife. There's a time to rebuke your wife. See that now? There's a time to honor your husband. There's a time to advise your husband. Some of you will always advise, you will never love. Everything he does, we end up in, please, can we talk? Everything, can we talk? 5 a.m., can we talk? 5 p.m., can we talk? So if he has a chance, he will just hang out with the guys till 10 p.m. when he's sure that we cannot talk. So let's move further very quickly. The objectives of every business. Who is keeping the time? The objectives of every business. How many minutes? Very good. So this is very interesting. Damilola, I think you like this one. Number one is to get. Number two is to keep. Number three is to grow. And number four is to become. The objective of every business. You know that the subject in question, the series in question, is successful growth. We took our time in the first episode to dissect what it means to have successful growth and what it means to have a growing success. So in this episode now, I want us to go a bit deeper on the objectives that forms a business. We said that it is the goal of every business, every life, to have a successful growth. And to achieve that successful growth, you need four major things here. And the first one is to get. Many times, a business, an idea, a home, a career begins with getting. Whatever it is you want, it usually begins with getting. Many times, we can't do anything until we first get. And we usually make it look very bad to get. There's nothing wrong with getting. Because even when you say it's more blessed to give than to receive, in many of those cases, you are giving what you first received. And what qualifies the thing you are able to give forms within these four realities. So it is when you have gotten and you are able to keep and you are able to grow and you are able to become, then you can now give. Is that making sense? Yes. So when you say it's more blessed to give than to receive, the thing that has matured enough, multiplied enough for you to be able to give it are the things that you first received. But if you get alone, it's not enough. But you must first begin by getting it. You want to become a medical doctor? Get admission first. You can't just say, I want to be in the hospital. No, you begin by getting admission. You want a business, you need to get customers. Anything you are doing for which there's no paying customer, it's not a business. If you want to trade in sales of commodity and services, right? You need to have customers. So the first objective is to get. And it may look like, I don't want to, no, but you must get. You cannot multiply what is not. You can't multiply what is not. For it to be able to be multiplied, there must be something to multiply. You may not have the fruit, but you must have the seed. The hope for a fruit or a tree begins with what? It's a seed now. So what I've just highlighted here, the getting, the keeping, the growing, the becoming, is still the principle that converts a seed to a tree that produces fruits in whatever you're doing. But whatever you want to do in the business of life, it begins with getting. And getting, many times, also requires a conditioning of who you are to attract what needs to be gotten. So once you have aligned yourself properly to get, then you must learn to keep. So I teach our people in our companies that it's okay to get customers. It's quite easy. When you launch a new brand, people want to try something new. So they will come and give it a try. So getting the customer is the easiest part of it. The real job is that can you keep the customers? And what you sell can get you the customer. How you sell it can help you keep the customer. Is that making sense now? See, we're still back to the same what to sell, how to sell, who to sell it to. So if you want to keep a customer, you must go beyond what you are selling and begin to improve on how you are selling. The experiences that you create by your transaction is what determines what you are able to keep. Even as a parent, the way you give money to your children, the way you put money in your business, the way you talk to your workers, it determines who will stay and who will go. And a business isn't just a business for the customers you get, it's also for the workers you get, the team that you get. When you get your team, can you keep your team? Is that making sense to you? So when you get, the next objective is how to keep them. And even though you've offered them 100,000 on the first day, they're happy. You've gotten them, you've trapped them in. But can you keep them by the experience of working with you? So you get, you keep the customer. The next thing is what? You grow the customer. And we have begun this series by saying that growth is weightier than success. So if growth is weightier than success, it simply means that when you have succeeded at getting them, you must still bring the ingredients of growth back to what you got. So you've gotten them. You've even kept them. But can you grow them? And this is where many businesses fail. So they are stuck in one level for many years. They are stuck in one dimension for many years. Whatever that business is, whether it's marriage, whether it's work or career, they've attained in getting, they have attained in keeping, but they never grow. Whatever you give to them, like the third servant, you give, they get it, they can keep it, but they can't grow it. And I keep making reference to that scripture. And the master said to him, you are a lazy and you are a wicked servant. But you know, the servant scored 2 out of 3. Am I correct? He was able to get the talent from the master. He was even able to keep the talent. In safety, he buried it under the ground. But he couldn't grow it. And he was classified as a lazy and as a wicked servant. Now, even when you're able to grow, I'm very particular about you becoming. Because sometimes when you are keeping and growing, you cannot sustain that reality in ripples because you have not become what it takes. You know, I said that to even get, you need to become what you need to be to attract it in the first place. And in the same light, there's a becoming required for you to sustain the objectives of being in business. You must invest yourself, not just in getting, because sometimes you might even get out of just sheer favor or chance. Just by chance you got. And then you now build yourself to keep, labor hard to keep. Then you now labor hard to grow, but you have not still qualified yourself to become. And the becoming is very critical in the objectives of any form of business. So if you're write these items down. There are a number of characteristics of a successful business. I will highlight them. I don't even know if I can dig deeper into them because of the time. How much time? Huh? Okay, good. So, the characters of a successful business. Number one is a structure. Every successful business must have a structure. Number two, it must be sustainable. Number three, it must be scalable. I hope you guys are following this thing. You see the word sustainable? Does it look like the word keeping? Yes, I see that now. The word scalable, does it look like the word growing? Very good. Then number four, it must be predictable. Number five, it must be transferable. And number six, like I began, it must be profitable. So the characteristics, not just of a business now, but of a successful business is that number one, it must have a structure. Number two, it must be sustainable. Number three, it must be scalable. Number four, it must be predictable. Number five, it must be transferable. Number six, it must be profitable. And when we do the next episode tomorrow, hopefully on growth, or when we do the episode on growth, I'll be talking a lot on structure. But you can't have any form of success in your life if your life is void of structure. Any part of your life, be it medically, spiritually, physically, emotionally, any part of your life that is void of structure will be in chaos. Any part of your life that is void of structure will end up inevitably in chaos. The reason why things are having us that we should be having is because we lack structure. So when you lack structure, the thing you should have will start having you. The thing you should control will start controlling you. Your life will not become at the mercy of anything that can just exert small pressure on you because there's no structure. So when the wind blows, the roof goes off. When small wind blows, the window falls off. The very thing that you are meant to be designed to withstand begins to control you when there is no structure. Even in business, dollar goes up, your business shuts down. Because there's no business, there's no structure to cushion the impact of dollar increase. There's no structure to cushion the impact of a new president. Many years ago, I was teaching on the principle of building arcs. And I said, when you build an arc is a moving house on a liquid surface. So when you build anything, be it business or whatever, you must build something that can move in spite of the storm. So even though there is a storm, even though the water is rising, you must build something that can float on the water. Many of us will have built things that cannot float. And you cannot control the storm. at all times. So you need to build an ark around your business, and that ark must have formidable structure. Otherwise, chaos is inevitable. Now, the next thing is being sustainable, and you cannot sustain what lacks structure. You can't sustain it. So for you to sustain anything, be it a building, or romance, or love, you must first have structure. And anything you put yourself into that is not sustainable is a risk that is too hard to embrace. In fact, anything that you invest your time in for which it is not sustainable is a dangerous exposure. Even in your romance life, as a married couple, you say, okay, we'll go out on dates 3 times a week. Can you sustain it? You know you can. Don't start. Ojomi, can you sustain it, sir? You want to begin a business. You are earning 100,000 per month. You want to go and borrow 3 million naira. Can you sustain it? I see now. So when you are making a decision in any kind of business, in money, in your health, in anything you do, you must ask yourself, how sustainable is this? You are earning 50,000 naira, but you prefer to eat from the restaurant where they sell one plate of food, 7,000. Can you sustain it? There's a mama put at the corner that does 1,200. You will leave that one and go and buy food of 7,000. You married wife, every Sunday you are buying her gift. Oga, can you sustain it? Because the risk of beginning something that can be sustained is that you create false expectations, both for yourself and the recipients of what you're providing. So you're running a business. You are trying to, the item is 2,000. The case is 5,000. Can you sustain it? The thing you are selling is 2,000. You say you want a fizzy, is packaging. Now your packaging is 7,000. You have now increased your shelf price from 3,500 to 9,000. Can you sustain that in the market? Can't you find a better way to bring down the price point in a way that you can sustain the future of that enterprise? Because if you can't sustain it, you cannot scale it. It's better to make 1,000 per sale for a sale you can sustain than to make 5,000 per sale for a sale you cannot sustain. Because if you cannot sustain it, you cannot scale it. Because the next point is to build a business that is scalable, that you can make bigger. If you have not baked one cake right, can you increase the size? The small one you have done is not even sweet. You want to make it bigger. You know what I'm saying? So before you can scale, you need to create a sustainable system, a sustainable approach to everything. The things you are wearing, can you sustain it? The lies you are telling, can you sustain it? The way you are deceiving your friends and giving impressions, can you sustain it? Because eventually, the thing that is being sustained, there will be a demand on it for it to be scaled. And you must embrace the wisdom to scale what you have sustained. Because we said in the beginning that there is what is called growing success. It means that success has the potential for growth. You can be stuck at a level of success, and then in that nature, you cannot be seen as a failure. And I give an example that what you called success when you were 4 years old is no longer success when you became 12 years old. So if you are not 12 years old, boasting about the thing you achieved at 4 years old, they will just laugh at you. Because your mates who are 12 have gone beyond that level. So you need to make sure that your success can be scaled commensurate to your growth. So you must have a business that is scalable. Number 4, you must have a business that is predictable. In the first few months or few years of doing a business, whether it's marriage or trade, whatever it is, you may not be able to predict the outcome. But when you build a structure that is sustainable, that is scalable, usually it will become predictable. And they cannot tell what you want to do in the next 5 years or 10 years with the predictable outcome of what you're able to scale. And based on that information, you can determine what must be done now based on what is predictable. The way it's going now, we need to remain, let's have only one shop for now, for the next 4 years. And then we will stabilize properly with what we can scale and what we can sustain. In the next 5 years, we can now get our second shop. If you don't have the foundation of all of these things I've said, you will begin to lose sight of what is possible. And there's nothing wrong with having a predictable outcome. It's critical. God said that his goal is to give us an expected end. There must be a clear expectation of the outcome that you hope to achieve with whatever you are building in business. Number 5, it must be transferable. And this is very critical because I think that the concept of legacy, the concept of longevity, the concept of impact, the concept of spread is becoming lost because all that matters is me, myself, and I. Certain things that God will bring into your life for you to transact in business are things that you must learn to transfer. What we are doing here in this class is transferring. So the way you are living your life, can you transfer it? You say, no, Apeh, you don't understand. No, I understand. I'm asking you. That thing you have done now, can you transfer it to your younger sister, to your younger brother, to your son, to your daughter, to your best friend, to your mother? Can you transfer it? That thing you are doing, is it transferable? If we on the lights, can you transfer it? So many things, usually, that we invest in seem good because we are the only consumers. But when we now capture that thing in the frame of it being transferred to someone else, it becomes a problem. Even the structure, the way you spend the money, the way you handle the money, the way you handle the phone calls, can you transfer that to your staff? That's what I'm saying now. Because many times, if you truly grow to scale your business, you will need to transfer a system to somebody else. So the system, the structure you have built, the sustainable thing you have built, the scalable thing you have built, what else again? Can you transfer it? The predictable thing you have built, can it be transferred? That if you're not there, somebody can take that same thing and replicate it. Can you transfer it? And that's what science has done. Science has given us transferable principles. It does not have any partiality to a person. Right? Gravity is gravity. It works for everything. It's a transferable principle of science. I see what I'm saying. So whatever you build, it must be transferable. And then lastly, it must be profitable. And I think I touched on that a little bit in the previous episode. And I said that everything that we do is usually with the objective of it becoming profitable. And when you say something is profitable, what do you mean? It simply means that a thing that is profitable is a thing for which you have been able to multiply its value. If a thing is profitable, it's simply a thing that you have been able to multiply its value. Anything that you do for which you have not been able to multiply or increase its value in size or in texture, in measure or in texture, whatever you're doing for which you have not been able to increase the value of that thing, be it a person or money, be it a place or a time. Because what we have done now, we have increased the value of this time. This time may just be 40 minutes in this session, but the value of this time has been multiplied because of what we have put into the time. So profitability is your ability to multiply the value in anything. Your children are profitable because you have multiplied their value. Your husband is profitable because you've multiplied the value. Your marriage, your academics, For them to be profitable, you must be able to enhance the value of that very thing. So with these few points of mine, I hope you are convinced and not confused. So we're going to bring this to a close and we'll continue the conversation in the next episode. We have two more things, success and growth in this series. So thank you so much and see you in the next one.